Days of basketball have been just as exciting as recent history. Obviously, it is kind of the dead period, dead zone right before the All-Star break, trade deadline time. So, teams are trying to get momentum swings going into the All-Star break, looking to try and find their ways. But we got some stuff we got to talk about because there's some teams on the up and teams on the down. I do want to start by talking about the Orlando Magic here. I've been giving my props to Anthony Black throughout the start of the season, and man, has he just been continuing to stay consistent at the level he took a step up on. In 36 points the other day with no Jalen Suggs to play, he dropped 27 points, 8 for 10 from the free throw line, 10 assists, and 4 blocks in this game. And I don't know if you guys see that, 10 assists to 1 turnover difference for our guy Anthony Black. I've been loving what I'm seeing from the progression of him. He looks much more comfortable as a ball handler. His points per game has drastically jumped from his sophomore season. He's gone from 9.4 points to 15.8 this year, taking more shots, shooting the ball more efficiently. Definitely a lot more confidence in 21-year-old, 6'7" guard Anthony Black out of Arkansas. They've got Jalen Suggs on that big extension for basically the same amount of time as his rookie year. I'm interested to see if Anthony Black might have to find his way out of Orlando, but for this season specifically, unless they upgrade their starting center position, I'm still looking at this Orlando Magic team with a grain of salt. I still believe that they might be a team that could get upset pretty easily, but the main reason I want to talk about the Orlando Magic is none other than Paolo Banchero, who since coming back from injury, a lot of people were betting against this guy, saying he's not as good as he, was projected out to be this year as the number 1 overall pick. 23 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists. 29 points, 10 rebounds. 31 points in a loss. 28, 12, and 5 in the win the other day. Paolo has definitely taken a jump in his efficiency numbers. As you can see, his numbers before he got injured. I'm looking at numbers like 45%, 38%, 36%, 25% shooting, right? A lot of bad shooting nights. 57, 56, 50. He's got to stay above that 50% mark. He needs to remember a lot of the time that he's a bigger forward, and he needs to assert that bigger forward dominance specifically in his shot creation. Stop settling for jumpers. It's the Giannis conversation all over again. Put your head down, get to the rim, take the most efficient shot for the offense, and I promise you, Paolo, you will be a good player if you do that. You are 6'10", 250, and skilled like a guard. Just put your head down and go to work. Be an efficient basketball player. I will say 3 for 5 from 3 is huge. You don't really see him, shoot 3 for 5 from 3 much. I don't know if I'd love to see him taking 5 threes in the game, but at the end of the day, Paolo has been taking the jump this Orlando Magic team needs, especially with Franz Wagner continuing to miss time. And my sneaky shout out of the day is first real big game. I got to catch the highlights of him. Jace Richardson puts up his one of his best games as a young rookie. Jason Richardson's left-handed son out of Michigan State. Love me some Jace Richardson. Keep getting him minutes off the bench. I know Tyus Jones has been struggling this year. Why not? Give your guy Jace Richardson, your first-round pick, some minutes. I do want to talk about the Brooklyn Nets because I'm very interested to see if Michael Porter Jr. or a couple other names, such as Cam Thomas, such as Nicholas Claxton. I think that this is going to be a team that might be selling towards the deadline, which is funny to think because you look at this team and it's like, they don't really have a lot of great players in the first place. Jalen Wilson and Tyrese Martin getting coach's decision DMPs now tells me they are trying to move in a new direction here. They're not just trying out the players that they have. They're really trying to figure out their system and the role they're going to play. That's why I would be very surprised if Michael Porter Jr. ends up getting traded personally. Having a career year in Brooklyn, averaging 26, 7, and 4. He's been a good shot creator, three-point shooter, rebounder. We knew he was a great rebounder when he was in Denver. Now he's without Jokic. He's just as good of a rebounder, if not better. He's been passing the ball more, having playmaking role. Absolutely dominated this Denver Nuggets team the other day, 127 to 115. Now, mind you, no Nikola Jokic, no Jonas Valanciunas, Aaron Gordon coming back from injury. Tim Hardaway Jr. off the bench had a great game, and that was really the only positive aspect of this Nuggets team the other day. But overall, I would be very interested to see how the Brooklyn Nets come up to this trade deadline, because right now they're 11 games under 500, which sounds like a lot. But if you look at this Eastern Conference, they don't even have a top 4 pick in the NBA draft right now. And if you're Brooklyn, you probably want a top 4 pick or top 4 lottery odds in the NBA draft. So I would be surprised to see a team like the Kings or a team like the Pelicans not surpass the Nets. But right now, the Nets are low-key on a... They've been winning a couple games recently, so I wouldn't switch it up too much. Definitely would not trade Michael Porter Jr. if I was in Brooklyn, but I could understand why Brooklyn would want to trade him, keep getting future assets. If he's only going to help you win games, maybe that's not what they want. I do need to talk about this Milwaukee Bucks team. It was a report that came out that the Bucks do believe that the team that they put around Giannis right now is a championship contending team in this wide open Eastern Conference. I disagree. Straightforward. Kyle Kuzma has now been limited to a bench spot since Kevin Porter Jr. has come back because they love this Kevin Porter Jr. Ryan Rollins backcourt. AJ Green has been taking over this small forward role next to them. Very interesting to see them move Kuzma to the bench. Definitely makes me think Kuzma, Bobby Portis, Gary Trent Jr. are all names that we could look at being traded. The guys coming off the bench. Same with names like Cole Anthony, Andre Jackson, all the guys that are getting DMPs. I would not be surprised to see the Bucks want to move them in deals, but it feels like it's just going to keep being this revolving door where the Bucks have a hot streak. They'll get cold at the wrong time, and if Giannis is not traded this season, when is he going to get traded? Because he'll be going on 32 years old next year. If Giannis isn't going to get traded now, and what I believe is his almost end of his prime seasons, he's averaging 29, 10, and 6 on great efficiency. If there's a team making a run, you got to make the trade now. If you're the Knicks with Karl-Anthony Towns, you got to make the trade now and just believe in it. If you're the San Antonio Spurs or the Miami Heat, you got to pull the trigger on the Giannis deal. You have 1 month. 1 month. Clock's ticking. I remember Ryan O'Toole, when he was here streaming the other day with us, he came in and said, Giannis is definitely going to get traded. The injury was fake. All yada, yada, yada. Giannis has come back from the injury. He's been playing basketball for this Bucks team. They've been winning a couple games. They're up to only 4 games under, but as you can see in their recent games, win. They've won 5 of their last 7 since Giannis has come back. I don't love this starting lineup still. Kevin Porter Jr. has never been a consistent basketball player. Ryan Rollins is still very young. AJ Green, he got his contract, but we always looked at AJ Green as a bench player. I think Miles Turner's been very underwhelming this season as the main addition next to Giannis. I still think that the best direction this Bucks team can go in is to find a young guy to build around, and that is not Giannis. I would trade Giannis to go find a Dylan Harper. I don't know. They got to find a diamond in the rough in that Giannis trade if they want to make a step. We do need to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder, after losing back-to-back games to the San Antonio Spurs, went on a 4-game win streak and just blew 2 games back-to-back to the Phoenix Suns and the Charlotte Hornets. This was a team we were for real saying, how are they not going to break the all-time, wins record, the 73-9 Warriors? Well, they're now 30-7, which means they can only afford to lose 1 more game for the rest of the season if they want to break it. Crazy to say that out loud. That they a month ago we were talking about this team possibly running away with the record, almost not losing games, but after losing those back-to-back to the San Antonio Spurs, they lost to the Phoenix Suns the other night in Phoenix. Shout out to Devin Booker for hitting a nasty step-back deep 3-point game winner on Alex Caruso in a 24.9 assist, 6 rebound game. But Jordan Goodwin off the bench has been incredible. That's the main guy I was going to bring up in this game. Jordan Goodwin, released by the Los Angeles Lakers, went over to Phoenix and 26 points. Goodwin averaging almost 10 points a game. I could tell you the Lakers wouldn't mind having him on their bench, but what is going wrong in OKC? That's the main question we have to ask ourselves. When a great team like this has a couple game losing streak, what is going wrong? I would first and foremost have to say their perimeter shooting. This has been a problem for about the past year now. Even when they were a championship contending team, they really heavily relied on their paint, mid-range game, and defense. Came to no surprise there. We knew the Thunder doing this. We knew the Thunder were the best defensive team in basketball last year. Let them continue doing that. But their 3-point shooting this year has really taken a step down, and I have to talk about a couple guys and possibilities of them getting moved by the trade deadline. First and foremost, we have to bring up the name Lou Dort. I've loved Lou Dort. He's been one of those guys that stuck around this entire Oklahoma City Thunder rebuild. He's been there since 2019 when this team was winning less than 20 games a year. And then he was a crucial part of their championship winning team. But if you look, last season, this guy shot on 6 attempts a game, 41% from 3. This year, on the exact same amount of attempts, he's only shooting 33.5% from three. That's a drastic drop-off, especially in overall field goal percentage. Look at this. He's shooting 38% from the field. That would actually be the lowest mark of his entire career, and this is technically the best time of his career. But if you look at this bench, Isaiah Joe has not been able to bring the shooting aspect that you've wanted him to. AJ Mitchell, although he's good, he's very much a shot creator, mid-range guy, similar to Shea with the ball in his hands. Not really a three-point shot threat. Kaysen Wallace, I've always looked at him as a 3-and-D guard, but not really a number one 3-point shooting guy. Caruso has never been a great 3-point shooter. Kenny Hustle has never been a great 3-point shooter. Aaron Wiggins has never been a great 3-point shooter. We got to start having real conversations on, is this Oklahoma City Thunder team... He's in here. His chat doesn't work. Are you talking about Biker? Silvestro? Or who? Giuseppe 17. Oh, gotcha. Giuseppe, congratulations. You did win the, Don't worry, I already got you with your box. Congrats, you won the stress ball. No worries, Giuseppe. Good to know, though, that he was banned. That's why it doesn't work. Good to know, good to know. Thanks for letting me know that. But continuing on with my basketball talk. Last night, we definitely saw everything come to fruition for this Oklahoma City Thunder team. They let up the Charlotte Hornets with Miles Bridges shooting 0 for 6 from 3, by the way. 0 for 6 from 3 for Miles Bridges. The team still shot 51% from 3 yesterday. Shout out PJ Hall, Sion James, Liam McNeely, Con Knipple, Brandon Miller. Bang, bang, bang. 3-point shooters. But let's look at this 3-point shooting for your Oklahoma City Thunder guys. 0 for 2 from Carlson. 0 for 3 from Kaysen Wallace. 1 for 5 from Isaiah Joe. 1 for 4 from Lou Dort. 1 for 6 from Shea. How about Shea only having 7 made field goals, guys, against the Charlotte Hornets? You know why? Because teams are realizing if they just collapse on Shea, force the ball out of his hands, and let all the guys around them truly beat them. Right now, at least in the season, they're beating them. Now, I will say this could be a drastic overreaction. I would not be surprised if they're just going through a slight January slump. We get to after the All-Star break, and this team rattles off 15 straight wins. None of that would surprise me if the same players start hitting their shots. My question is the front office going to make a panic move and say we need to dominate more than get to the level of domination we originally thought we were going to be at? This OKC Thunder team, we were literally talking about breaking the record for wins in a season. Now we're talking about them maybe not even being the number one team in their own conference. San Antonio Spurs have now beaten them 3 times, guys. We have to have a real conversation about that. I am not worried about the Thunder, but I will say I don't love these long 3-point shots from Lou Dort and Kaysen Wallace and Alex Caruso. I would love for them to find one more shot-creating guy and buy into him. Now, mind you, the Thunder have so many draft picks that they could probably package together their 5 worst first-round draft picks. Go get a guy like Lauri Markkanen. Go get a shooter out there. I'm trying to figure out who the best fit is for this team, but I keep thinking, man. Oh, dude, no worries, Mr. Chris. Don't worry at all. I appreciate you coming in just to say hi. I'm looking around at some of these teams, and I keep thinking, man, Cam Thomas coming off the bench for them, just to be a shot creator, disruptor off the bench. Other selling teams, like maybe Utah, or maybe Memphis, or the Pelicans. I know the Pelicans, they'd love a shooter from the Pelicans. Say Jordan Hawkins. Buy in on a Jordan Hawkins on the low. If you're going to Washington, buy in on one of their shooters on the low. The Pacers have a couple of shooters. While they're having their bad year, give them a couple of picks for a guy. I keep looking around the league and seeing a couple names that I want the Thunder to make additions for, to maybe just replace the Lou Dort minutes with someone that can just space the floor. I cannot believe the Hornets beat the Thunder. I was just looking at the game stats. I watched the highlights of the game. I didn't watch it live, but I watched a lot of the highlights. When you shoot 51% from 3 and you make 19 of them, compared to the team you're playing taking more 3-pointers than you and only shooting 28%, they also shot 53% from the field, 92% from the free throw line. Compared to the Thunder, by the way, 67% from the free throw line and 37% from the field. It's a recipe for success, Mr. Chris. And what I want to continue to say is this is not the Hornets' defensive masterclass. That's not at all what this game was. It's just the Thunder missing their shots. Every great team goes through slumps. It's always a thing. How are the Thunder going to respond to it in the second half of the season? Are they going to be willing to maybe make a trade before the trade deadline? That's what I'm looking at when I look at that Oklahoma City Thunder team heading into the second half of the year. The Lakers are another team I would love to talk in depth about for a little bit. Lakers are playing the Luka and LeBron game right now. No Austin Reeves for a little bit. That's what I've been saying, Mr. Chris. Lowry Marketing. There's a couple names out there that I really think package your... I said it. If they put together their 5 worst first-round picks, I bet you there's a team like the Utah Jazz, like the New Orleans Pelicans, that would take on 5 of their worst first-round picks and a salary filler just to get them an extra shot creator / ball handler / 3-point shot creator. Mainly 3-point shot creator. A guy who can stand next to Shea. Shea goes to work. When he gets the ball with 5 seconds left, like, oh my God, imagine like CJ McCollum coming off the bench in OKC. I know that sounds stupid because, like, why would they want him? Just the shot creation of 3-point shooting would be such a huge benefit for this Thunder team. They wanted that out of Lou Dort. They wanted that to be Isaiah Joe. It just has not been over the past couple weeks of the year. Interested to see if they make a move. As for this Lakers team has won a couple games now, 3 of their last 4, after skidding a couple games to good Western Conference teams, specifically beating this Grizzlies team. So I don't want to talk about this too much, right? I don't want to overreact too much. But man, LeBron's playing some ball. LeBron James has been playing some damn good basketball recently. 31 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. 26 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. 24, 5, and 3, 17, 4, and 4, 28, 10, and 7. How about 19, 15, and 8? These are just some of the recent LeBron games that we've been seeing. And I just want to say, once we get to a playoff series, no one is going to want to see a healthy Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Rui Hachimura, and DeAndre Ayton starting 5. Now, mind you, I think Jake LaRavia has done enough for me to take over that starting power forward position for the Lakers. I think he has, personally. But I wouldn't be surprised if they went back to Rui. I love what the Lakers have done. They're not hanging their hat as much on the defensive side of the ball like J.J. Redick said they were going to. But when you have the names you have, you can't. You just can't. Nick Smith Jr. has been a great addition off the bench. Marcus Smart has been a good addition. I am going to check that price real quick for you, Hockey Collector. I do 30, Hockey Collector, 30, and you got a deal. But just want to continue saying, the Lakers, no one's going to want to go to LA. No one is going to want to go to LA and win and play this team in the playoffs. LeBron on his last possible leg with the Lakers. Luka averaging 34, 8, and 9. $5 group break credit Givey is up and running. 1 minute on the clock. 3, 2, 1, go. Whether people think LeBron or not is the GOAT, we can all agree that 41-year-old LeBron James playing incredible. 100%. I have continued saying, Mr. Chris, nothing LeBron James has done over the past about 5 years of his career should change your opinion on the GOAT conversation. It shouldn't. Because Jordan, we talk about when you're talking about the best, you should compare them at their best. That's my argument. That's my conversation. But 41-year-old LeBron being able to just jump right into this Lakers team, fit in, not only play well, but come back and start scoring at the efficient level he is. Now, mind you, he does take more three-pointers than he should, right? 7 threes on 28%, 5 threes on 20%, 10 threes on 30% is not what you want LeBron to do. But love what I'm seeing from the Lakers over the past couple days, specifically against this Grizzlies team. It just tells me that they're going to continue beating up on the bad teams, and I think that trend will continue into the playoffs. We got to continue staying in LA, though, and talk about the Clippers. The Clippers now are on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins in their last 8 games, with their only loss coming to the Jaylen Brown personal matchup, whatever you want to call it. of Jaylen Brown texting Missoula before the game and saying, I want to guard Kawhi Leonard. And then he dropped 50 and guarded Kawhi Leonard. But last night was a big win. The Warriors tried coming back in this one. Steph Curry unfortunately fouled out of this game. Unfortunately, Curry fouled out. So when we were down by a little bit at the end, it was not Curry with the ball in his hands. It was Jimmy who missed the game-winning shot. Sad. But the Clippers continue to put together good games. Now, I will say, their coaches have gone a little off the rails. Ty Lue, Van Gundy have basically said, we're running with our guys. Look at this. Kawhi's giving you 38 minutes in January. John Collins, 39 minutes in January. Kobe Sanders is the player of the game last night. He was the guy in charge of locking up Curry. And he said, yeah, for real, Little John, spend your credit if you're going to enter it. Spend your credit if you're going to enter the giveaways. But was so impressed with what I saw from the Clippers last night. I did watch a lot of this game, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. Hey, Little John, I appreciate that. Congrats on winning the $5 group break credit givey. Let me know if there's any group breaks you're interested in getting into. But as for the Warriors, too much going on. The exact opposite problem of the Clippers. Too much going on. Guy Santos, run with your hot hands. Steve Kerr, just start running with your hot hands. When Guy Santos comes in and gives you a couple minutes, keep him in, as opposed to keeping Al Horford in the game when he hasn't brought any help on offense or defense. Gary Payton played a great game yesterday. Was so impressed with his defense. Stop keeping Podziemski in the game to not shoot the ball. If Podziemski is not in to shoot the ball, he is not helping out our offense. He's good without the ball. He's good as a playmaker, all of that. But he's not impactful if he's not looking for his shot. It is killing me to consistently see the same problems in Golden State coming to fruition. Curry goes out. We have no shot creation. We have no three-point shooting outside of him. Look at this. Curry shot 15 of the threes we took yesterday. Draymond was 0 for 6 from 3. Why is Draymond shooting threes? Jimmy Butler 1 for 4. Why is Jimmy taking this many threes? Moses Moody, I mean, he had a bad game. So I know Moses Moody had a bad game. But like, man, it's the same problems over and over again with the Warriors, with the same people, and we still haven't made moves around the edges. It kills me as a Warriors fan to continue watching this team choke games away that we should be winning just because of bad coaching decisions by Steve Kerr. And I love Steve Kerr, man. Best coach of the Warriors history. God, he got to get better on a day-to-day basis. I do want to give a couple other shout-outs in a couple other games. Kevin Durant hit the game-winning three-pointer yesterday, pointed to the door on his way out for his former team, the Phoenix Suns, who I thought had a good game. Dylan Brooks, by the way, his name has been brought up in a lot of trade rumors as of recent. Interested to see the price point that he would go for in a trade, because I think Phoenix loves him. I mean, they're 6 games above 500, and he's their definite second-best player this year. So it might take a lot for them to move on from him. Interested to see if they do make the decision to move on from him with whatever package they get thrown. But man, Kevin Durant, shout out to KD. He was 1 for 11 before that 3. Stepped right into that 3-point shot, nailed it, sent the Phoenix Suns home with a loss. Lastly, I want to give credit to Colin Murray-Boyles for the Toronto Raptors in a start. Next to the normal starting 5, they just tried to run Scotty Barnes at that center position continuously because no Jakob Poeltl. What are you going to do? You're going to let Colin Murray-Boyles run the 4 with 17 points on 8 for 10 from the field, 7-7. Dude looked like Jalen Johnson against the Atlanta Hawks, with Scotty Barnes being a definite all-star on this team. I saw you, Mr. Chris, said, what NBA teams have surprised you the most or least? Toronto's got to be up there for me. I did not expect Toronto to be a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference at this point in the season. Now, I will say the team that has to have definitely surprised me the most, specifically in the Eastern Conference, the Boston Celtics. I'm so glad that O'Toole's not here, so I don't have to say this with him, but look at this. Over their past couple stretch, look at this. Win, 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 loss to the Blazers. Win, 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 win. 2 back-to-back losses to Eastern Conference. After a 5-game win streak, a 2-game win streak, a 3-game win streak. I mean, this team goes on streaks every other week, it feels like. And Jaylen Brown has to be included in our All-NBA first-team conversations. 30 points a game, basically, he's averaging on good efficiency, too. And he's doing this, guys, with no left hand. No, I'm just kidding. Not with no left hand. But if you know the joke, you know the joke. I love me some Jaylen Brown this year specifically. If I go to his shooting percentages, 50% from the field, 36% from 3 would be career highs on the attempts that he's shooting. That is awesome to see if you're a Celtics fan. Celtics, by the way, Nemez Keita has been their starting center. They have rotated through their forwards with Josh Minot, Jordan Walsh, Sam Hauser. They've kind of rotated through. They've got basically two of the exact same players on their team, Anthony Simons and Peyton Pritchard. There is nothing different between those two guys. They're there to shoot threes and dribble the ball. A team that I did not expect to even be in maybe not even be in playoff implications, play in at the most. Boston Celtics are the second best team in the Eastern Conference right now, and I will continue saying it. If Jason Tatum's rehab is going the way that they've been saying, and he comes back, look out for Boston to make that Eastern Conference run, because I know that New York Knicks team does not want to see Boston in a 7-game series. As for the West, my most surprising team has to be San Antonio. How fast this rebuild has gone as of recent, and how good their young players have looked in such short time being around these guys. Wemby dealing with injuries this year. De'Aaron Fox dealing with a couple injuries, not really knowing his exact role next to Castle. Castle is the main ball handler on this team, and man, he's been incredible. 18 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. Number 1 ball handler on a play-by-play basis, Castle. Love Stephon Castle. But I gotta say, Dylan Harper is a good basketball player. His pace, his ability to get to the rim, his ability to finish with either hand, maneuver his body to get some layups. I am so impressed with what I've seen from Dylan Harper in just his rookie year. And I do have to say, his just poise and like professionalism. He came into a team that had 2 established guards that basically do everything you need your guards to do. You got one guard that's the fastest guard in basketball with the ball in his hands, can blow right by you, but has also become one of the clutchest players in basketball and a damn good shot creator. You've got another guy that comes in to be that all-around guard, right? He's the rebounder, the facilitator, the main pick-and-roll ball handler in Stephon Castle. Dylan Harper, it's like, where are you going to find your role? Well, he's just good. Like, there's no other way to put it. When he's got the ball in his hands, he's just a good basketball player. And I will say he had a bad game last night, or a couple nights ago against Portland. I did not catch that, so I apologize if that game was so bad that it takes away everything else I've said. Look at this, 22 points, 12 points, 24 against Washington, 21 against New York. He has put together some solid showings in his rookie year. Bright enough for the Spurs to sit here and say, do we consider trading him for Giannis? Isn't that crazy? Because if I'm the Bucks right now, Dylan Harper and salary filler and the draft picks that the Spurs would have would be plenty enough for me to build a Giannis trade. If I was the Milwaukee Bucks, just because I think Dylan Harper is that good of a building block right now. Surprised to see how good this Spurs team is as fast as they are, especially with the fact that Greg Popovich is no longer this head coach. This season is the first year that technically their head coach, Mitch, is the coach. And bang. Look at that. Spurs, 25 wins on the season. Not far behind the Oklahoma City Thunder, who we thought was going to absolutely run away with the Western Conference. Now, on the opposite side, my biggest disappointing teams have to be the 2 bottom teams in both conferences. The Indiana Pacers, I did not see them. I mean, look at this, guys. You see this? Oh, my God. Look at that losing streak. Now, mind you, they beat the Kings. You know, the Tyrese Halliburton revenge Kings. They always love beating them. They love beating their division teams, the Bulls, the Wizards. But, man, Indiana Pacers, at least in a Tony Snell zero game. That's a very good point, Mr. Chris. Yes, the Tony Snell zero. This guy knows ball. But, man, Pacers have been terrible. Even with Siakam playing one of the best years of his career in his prime, basically at 31 years old, averaging 24, 7, and 4. It is pathetic how bad this Pacers team is. You can't even watch a Pacers game this season, which is so funny because it's the same team that we were watching in what's it called? It's the same team we were watching in the NBA Finals. Possibly win Game 7 of the NBA Finals with no Tyrese Halliburton. The TJ McConnell game. They were winning at halftime in the Finals in Game 7. Just to go 6-30 the following year. But I will say, for the Pacers in the future, this is such a blessing in disguise. Because if they could somehow find a way to land that number 1 overall pick and get AJ Debonesa, look out for Indiana in the future, because Tyrese, Siakam, a center to be named in the future from a future trade, and AJ. This Pacers team could be scary after going into next year. And I have to say the Pelicans are so disappointing because what's funny is things have kind of gone right for the Pelicans. Call me crazy when I say that, but things have kind of gone right. Zion has played a decent amount of games this year, guys. Zion has played a decent amount of games this year. He's already at 21 games played. He hasn't hit 30 in a couple of years. Trey Murphy's played basketball. Sadiq Bey has played basketball. Jordan Poole's been on and off. Jordan Poole is not the acquisition they thought he was, but you just traded CJ McCollum for him. Don't matter. Jeremiah Fears has been their starting point guard and looked great as a starting point guard. Derek Queen has been their starting center ever since they realized they traded an unprotected first-round pick for him. He's been great since they picked him up. Herb Jones has definitely been a name in trade rumors, but Herb Jones brings exactly what you expect from him. I feel like things should be better for the Pelicans, and yet they're 8-29, last place in the entire Western Conference. It feels like they just always are rebuilding, right? They're never taking that step to take the next step. And man, they have been so disappointing to me. I really thought a Zion, Queen, Fears, Poole, Trey Murphy, Hawkins, Jose Alvarado, Yves Messi. I thought that this would be a play-in contending team. Basically, the way that the Portland Trailblazers and Memphis Grizzlies are is kind of where I thought the Pelicans would be. Nah, not Joe Dumars. He's running this team to the ground. And don't get me started on Sacramento. Sacramento needs to trade all their guys as fast as they possibly can. But that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I will say the Atlanta Hawks have also been pretty disappointing. 17-21. Who would have thought the Heat, the Bulls, and the Hawks are in the play-in tournament? No one saw that coming, right? It's been like 4 years of the play-in tournament just being between those three teams in the Eastern Conference. But the last thing I want to talk about before I stop talking basketball is this right here. Trae Young officially is working with the Atlanta Hawks on a trade. Now, I will say I think my favorite destination for Trae Young has to be the Toronto Raptors. I think that Emmanuel Quickley to Trae Young upgrade would bring the offensive plug next to the Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, and Colin Murray-Boyles, Jakob Poeltl when he comes back. I think that would be a perfect fit for Trae Young and an offense and a coach that would bring him in. A system that would love him. I would love to see Trae Young as a member of the Toronto Raptors. But how are the Hawks going to look after this Trae Young trade happens? Because we really pictured him and Jalen Johnson to be this duo of the future. Jalen Johnson, 24 points, 10.5 rebounds, 8.5 assists. Nickeil Alexander-Walker has been the surprise guard of the year. 20 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He's the reason why this team feels so comfortable trading away Trae Young. But he doesn't bring the playmaking aspect that Trae Young does. Look at that. Trae Young averaging 19 and 9 this season. Yes, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's cousin. That is true, Mr. Chris. Porzingis has been very underwhelming. The rumors are, is Risa Shea going to get traded in an Anthony Davis trade, or is Trae Young going to get traded now in an Anthony Davis trade? What is the trade around Trae Young, and who are they getting back? And is it for a win-now player? Or is it for a future move to build more around Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu, Dyson Daniels, and Risa Shea for the future? I have no idea what the Atlanta Hawks are going to do. But what I will say is they have one of the most valuable assets in the league right now, being that Pelicans unprotected first-round pick. And I can't wait to see what they do with Trae Young, Risa Shea, and another number one possible overall pick in the near future. What is the direction of this Atlanta Hawks team? Sitting around 500 right now in the East. And that is going to do it for all my basketball talk for today. If Trae is traded, what team is the best fit for him? I did say the Toronto Raptors, and I will continue saying Toronto. I think they're the best fit personally. I would love to see him go to Milwaukee. I don't know how they'd make it work, but I'd love to see Trae Young with Giannis. If that's going to be the move to keep Giannis around, that feels good to me. I know it feels very similar to Dame and Giannis, but something tells me it would have a little bit more success than they did. I've seen the rumors that Washington would be interested in Trae Young, which I think is funny because if you remember back to a year ago during the draft, Alex Sarr asked to not be drafted by the Atlanta Hawks, so he could go second to the Wizards. Kind of funny to think now they could have just taken Sarr and had paired him with Trey, but now they might be trading for Trae Young to get, like, I don't know. It's so interesting to think about situations like that. When I look at the Western Conference, I think Trae Young would love to go to Houston. If they can make it work to get themselves a playmaking guard for the future, they'd love him. Minnesota Timberwolves are a team that are desperately in need of a point guard play right now. The Lakers would always welcome a guy like Trae Young. I saw that the Lakers were high up in the odds on betting odds for him. I don't know. Who knows with the Lakers? The Mavericks are the #1 favored team right now on betting odds to get Trae Young in the future, and it's probably because of the Anthony Davis swap. What I am saying is I don't love it. Don't love it for the idea of building Cooper Flagg's value up with Trae Young next to it. I'd much rather just have Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis for the next couple of years. Don't love it. But the last team I would say possibly the Sacramento Kings would be a team to look out for if they want to do a win now for win now trade. Win now for win now. Neither team's going to win anything, but they'll look at it that way. Maybe like a Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis could be included, and the Kings get their point guard of the future after trading away all their point guards of the future in recent history. Those are all the teams I would say would have a good shot at him. I also saw maybe a couple Brooklyn Nets rumors. That would be the last team I would mention, but that's about it. Raptors, Nets, Wizards, Bucks in the Eastern Conference. In the Western Conference, give me the Rockets, Timberwolves, Mavericks, Kings are the main teams that I think would make a trade for Trae Young. Same things could be said about Ja Morant as well. Interested to see if Ja gets traded in the Trae Young sweepstakes.